I would like to make our Beowulf note cards and our future source cards and note cards for our other two sources a little bit easier in today's presentation. Now, you notice it's entitled Beowulf Note Cards, Quotes, Paraphrases, Summary, and a Personal Note. Now, here is our first card. Now, all of your cards, when they are source cards, will all have the same number, which is 1. Okay, if you notice the 1 up there. Notice we underline the title of the work, then we have a period. Do not discount the punctuation. KMHS British Literature, period, Uniondale, colon, Kellenberg Memorial High School, comma, the year was 2016, period, and we use the page 86 because you have to put the page number there. Now, if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we would call our direct quote card. Please note that we still have the number 1 in the shot, right? We got number 1 up there, right? And we then have the quotation marks. We end the quotation mark and we put Beowulf lines 1 through 4, right? Now I have to identify it as a direct quote, and I also have to identify the page number on which the card resides, all right? Now I'm using the word pain, okay? Say I was assigned the word pain, and this is the quote that I am using to demonstrate how to use a quote card, right? So you notice where the quotation marks are, and notice that the period is after the documentation. Now if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we would call a summary card. I'm taking material from Beowulf and I am summarizing it. I am reducing the scope of which I'm going to write about. I say in the aforementioned passage, the Beowulf poet introduces the antagonist Grendel. More importantly, Grendel growls in pain. Now notice I'm not putting a lot of information on the card. And when you consult the Kellenberg Memorial style sheet that will be on my website, you will note that it is better to have more cards with less information. Why don't we put it that way? Now notice I put summary in page 3, but the number remains the same because it's from the same source. Now, I followed it up with another summary. All right, and I am talking about the source of Beowulf's pain and what is happening in the poem at the time that the word is used. Now, this next card is what we would call a paraphrase. So I am writing about various parts of the poem, but I am using my own words to communicate what the author is expressing. So I'm not using a direct quote. A direct quote is material that is taken directly from the work. The paraphrase, however, is not my interpretation, but just my way of using my own words to describe what is happening. If you notice, I put paraphrase at the bottom, and then I'm paraphrasing those pages, and the ever-present number 1 is at the top. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice at the bottom, this is what we would call a personal note card. Perhaps the tip-off is the personal pronoun that I use at the beginning of the card, where I say, I find it ironic that Grendel's motivation is derived from the joy of the Danes. Notice the number 1 is there again. So we don't list, say we have 6 cards, 7 cards. We don't number them 1 through 7. Each card with Beowulf receives the number 1 at the top, which indicates the source. It really doesn't matter that you're doing it chronologically, all right? It just matters that you have the cards. Now, remember, you're going to need 2 other sources besides Beowulf, all right? And you're going to be doing this in pretty much the same way. So, good luck, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.